This is Mountain Connections. Welcome to our kitchen. We've been looking forward to today for many, many months. We are graced with our East Coast Tech Director, Patty. She's also home chef extraordinaire and is going to be making her famous cranberry chutney. Patty, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you. Thank you to Park City TV. I'm happy to be here. Bring a little bit of Thanksgiving to everyone out here. I'm from New England, so this is cranberry chutney. It goes primarily for Thanksgiving, a little side dish, but it's really great on vanilla ice cream. So let me tell you what I've done. I think we'll show you the recipe in a minute and the ingredients, but just so you understand, in here's the boring part, is water, cider vinegar, and a lot of brown sugar, and the ingredients are up on your screen. So you bring this to a boil and let that all kind of get together. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add, give or take, 3 cups of cranberries.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
These are fresh cranberries.
Oh yes, these are fresh cranberries. These are not sweetened or dried or no. These are fresh, shining cranberries.
So where do you get your cranberries? Do you buy them in the bag at the store?
Yes.
Okay.
The normal, if I were, normally when it's season and you're buying cranberries, you can get a bag, sort of a bag, and you need 2 bags of cranberries to do the recipe. So 1 bag is 3 cups, so you dump those in there, which is what I'm going to do now. And then you buy them with fruit and vegetables. I'm not sure that they're totally available yet in grocery stores unless they're frozen. About another 2 weeks and you'll get some fresh cranberries in the bags in the grocery store.
So don't buy frozen?
Frozen's fine. In fact, these were frozen and I defrosted them this morning. But you know what? If you didn't have time, dump the frozen ones in. It's a very forgiving recipe.
These cranberries are beautiful. Mine never look that plump and
They're
juicy.
beautiful. I mean, I have to say, kudos to the shopper.
Yes, absolutely.
So what I'm going to do is I dumped in the 3 cups of cranberries, and then what I do is here we have, this is 2 lemons that I've sectioned and taken out the fruit. It is 2 navel oranges that again I've sectioned and taken out the fruit, and then it's I used a microplane to get the skin of both the lemons and the oranges, and so all you do is dump this in here.
So you just zested that?
I zested it, and I'll show you what that...
And it smells delicious. Just the smell is permeating the studios. It's wonderful.
It's a great smell, absolutely. So that, you just let this cook now, and the best part is you do it in stages. So you put in the 3 cups of cranberries, and then you do what I've just done, dump the fruit in, and the cranberries start to pop as it heats up, and then we're going to add more cranberries and things later. But zesting, all you do is take a microplaner, which is one of God's wonderful gifts. Take a microplaner, and you just run it on the lemon like that till you get down to the white part, and then you stop. And you can see that you've got, just the yellow skin of the orange, and that's zesting. It's dead simple, and it really brings out the flavor of, lemons and oranges in there. So that's all there is to that.
That contributes to the citrus taste, really brings out the cranberry, the tartness as well.
Exactly. So now what you do is you just kind of let this pot boil away with our goodness. You know what I forgot? I forgot our spices, which are really important. Now, if you've got a spice cabinet that's full of spices, and you have cinnamon and cumin and allspice and clove, then the recipe that you'll see has use a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But I'm going to cheat, and I've used pumpkin pie spice, which has almost all of those spices in it, and it's easy to buy. It comes in a little cup, little container. So I'm going to add all of our spices in one fell swoop.
And Patty, where is this recipe from? Is this a family recipe? Has it evolved over time?
Oh boy. This recipe started, at least for me, decades ago with a friend called Myra, who's a lifelong friend. She's a fabulous cook. And we rented a house out in Long Island for the winter because we couldn't afford to rent it in the summer. So we rented the house for the winter, and she cooked every weekend for us. And we had company and things like that, so we were doing Thanksgiving. And Myra found this recipe somewhere, and that was in the early 80s, I might add, and every year since then, I have made cranberry chutney. And so, you know, it's a family favorite at this point, but that's where it started. So I have to kudos to Myra, who clips and saves recipes and then plays around with them a little bit and all the rest of it.
And it's just not the same buying it in the can. It's so easy to grab that can, but you don't want to do that.
No, you don't want to do that. And this is different than the cranberry sauce that you get in the can, in that, you know, when you get the cranberry in a can, you crank it open, if your can opener works, if you crank it open, and then you open it and you put it down and it's jellied, or you can get whole cranberries inside the jellied cranberry. This is, it's heavy and syrupy, and it's got all fresh ingredients in it. It's very different than the stuff you would buy for Thanksgiving.
I feel like once you make this, you're not going to go back to the can.
Well, you know, I'd like to say that's true, but in Steve's family, they prefer the other stuff.
No.
Yes, they do.
Oh, that's not possible.
I've tried to convince them, but you know, they prefer the other. So you know, we have both. We have both at our house.
Well, it also feels intimidating to make this, but you make it look so easy.
It's actually dead simple, and it's totally forgiving. Once you have the list of ingredients, and what I would tell you is, like, I've got all the ingredients we're going to use later. I'd put all cut your oranges and your lime and your lemons and skin them and do the pith and all of that, and then you just follow the recipe. And if you add a little bit too many cranberries or you don't have enough cranberries, life will go on. It's a very simple recipe, but it's delicious. And the guys around the studio will tell you it smells pretty good too.
It does. So we've got this boiling away.
Right. So this is boiling away, and you know what we would do is you just continue to stir it because it's got sugar in it. So you don't want to let it go too far. So that's it. You stir this for, and with the magic of TV, we're not going to take all this time, but you let that stir for 30 minutes or so. So on a little bit lower simmer, you let that go, walk around your kitchen, do your errands, and then I'll show you in a second the next step. And the steps are only important because when we put these cranberries in for the first 30 minutes, they're going to really just, pop and let all their juices out. And you're really not going to see these cranberries. But as time goes on, we're going to add another 2 cups of cranberries, and then finally a cup of cranberries, and those keep their shape a little bit more. So that's where you get the color and the shape and everything.
Such a good tip. I love it.
So.
And again, the smell is just so wonderful. Puts you in the holiday spirit, even if
Absolutely.
you're not ready for the holidays yet.
Exactly.
This will get you ready.
Exactly. Your prior segment, the woman was talking about getting into the season for Thanksgiving, and this does it for me. It makes the house smell so good. And the best part is you can package it up. My friend Liz has little jars, and she packages it up and puts little ribbons on it, and then she gives them out for Christmas. Her sister Kathy, back in New Jersey, no doubt is waiting for her little jar of cranberry chutney.
Yeah, how can I get on Liz's list?
Well, I have to say that everybody I know, almost everybody I know, makes this cranberry chutney now because it's just so good if you're having guests for
well, I will be making it. I want to mention too, it's great for Thanksgiving, but also you have it on ice cream.
Oh, okay, you've given away the secret. Yes, it's great for Thanksgiving. It's pretty on the table, et cetera, et cetera. But really, it's terrific on vanilla ice cream. Vanilla frozen yogurt works too, but vanilla ice cream with this chutney, yeah.
What about a charcuterie board to put it on some cheese or even on some cream cheese?
That's a great idea. You could do that because you'll see when we're finished that it's very thick and viscous. It's like big jam. It holds its shape, so you could easily do that. Another thing I do with it is, because it's cranberry and it's fall, I use it I'll take a pork tenderloin or something, and I will open the pork tenderloin, cut it in half, layer the chutney in, take some kitchen twine, wrap it up, and then just bake it for a little while. And so that it gives a little bit of moisture to the pork chutney, or to the tenderloin, which is usually pretty dry.
So many options. I'm getting distracted because it's just looks so good. So what do we need to do next?
Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to add 2 more cups, she says. And you can see it doesn't matter, though that's a pretty big cup, so it's okay.
So as you mentioned, you add them in stages to help with the consistency.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to add 2 more cups of the cranberries. And that is, okay, I'm looking at my recipe because I have to do this right now. Okay, so 2 more cups. Then we're going to add I should have golden raisins, but I don't. I have regular raisins, but I think life will go on. So we add raisins, and we are going to add some, these are just dried apricots that I've cut into smaller pieces because the consistency will be better in the chutney.
Oh, so good, so colorful too. Even those darker raisins look great.
Yeah. And so you just stir that around, and you give that, another maybe 10 minutes. And while you're doing this, you think of all the things that you should be doing that you're not doing at the same time.
But you're making cranberry chutney.
You are making cranberry chutney. You absolutely are. This is the point when Steve will come into the kitchen and say, "Is it done yet? Is it done yet?"
Not yet.
Not yet. And we have a neighbor we live in Hadley, Massachusetts, and our neighbor will, we have some pear trees and apple trees and different kind of trees in the backyard. And so while I'll do the chutney, she actually makes preserves. So she will come over, she'll come and pick some pears in the backyard, and she'll come back with pear conserve, and she brings jams to Steve for his mornings. So.
Okay, I'm coming over, I'm meeting the neighbors, I'm there, I want to be in your neighborhood.
So that's kind of, what it's about, and you just kind of stir it around, and you can see that the cranberries that we put in earlier are broken down, and the new ones are still holding their shape.
And while this simmers away, we're just going to take a quick break.
Perfect.
And we'll be back with more Patty and her cranberry chutney right after this. Welcome back to the Park City Television Kitchen. We are with the wonderful Patty. She is making her cranberry chutney, and we're almost done.
We are almost done. We are going to add a couple more cups so we have the final ingredients, and along with that we're going to add some chopped walnuts. I'll show you how I chop the walnuts, which is kind of a cheat. I buy the crushed walnuts or whatever you can get, and then I put them in a Ziploc or a plastic bag, and I take something like this and I just press them so I can get them to a consistency that, along with all of this, when people are taking a little bite of it, they're, it's not a big walnut. So you just break it down till you think it's the right size.
So you want subtle walnuts.
Exactly.
Not a big
walnut. You don't want a big chunk of walnuts. So we're going to add those walnuts. That's our last ingredient, along with
another layer of cranberries.
Another layer.
Just get them right in there.
Another layer of cranberries.
So they simmer away.
And it's just gonna simmer away. And I have to say that I spend summers out in Nantucket, off the coast of Massachusetts, and we grow, but the island has a cranberry bog. And so the cranberries that are grown out there are primarily wet cranberries, and they're harvested for juice. These are probably from Wisconsin, but my friends out on Nantucket, I think they're going to be out there for Cranberry Festival. So hello to Liz Trelos and Chris and Rex, and you'll be getting a little care package of chutney soon.
I'm learning so much, Patty. This is impressive. I didn't know the different kinds of cranberries, the different places.
I bet you don't know what is the state that, and I'm a Midwesterner, so what state grows the most cranberries?
I don't know.
Most people think it's Massachusetts or a New England state.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, really? Well, shout out to Wisconsin then.
Exactly.
The cranberry state.
Exactly. And I have to say, that's really cranberry chutney. It's that simple. It's easy, and It smells great, and it can be used for so many different things.
It's warm, it's comforting.
Exactly.
Just a beautiful dish to have simmering away,
So
feeling
now-
in the holiday spirit for sure.
Exactly, exactly. So now what we have with the magic of TV is finished cranberry chutney. This is what it looks like when it's cooled down, and you can see the different consistencies of the cranberries, and these are the golden raisins and things like that in it. And so that's the final product, and that's a lot of cranberry chutney. You know, you were saying you might put a little on a charcuterie. You know, you would put, you know, that much maybe, or a little bit more. But as I said, I use it year round. It stays, if you put it in a, you know, a jar that seals, put it in your refrigerator, scoop it out, it's good just by itself. And I wanted to show you the easy way to package.
For your friends, your
For
neighbors.
your friends and your neighbors, you just take it out,
For yourself.
put it in here, seal it up, put a ribbon around it. I tell you what.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
And that's it. That's cranberry chutney.
So how long will it last in the fridge?
Oh gosh, it lasts probably 6 months easily. Easily 6 months. And you know, you could probably keep it a bit longer because it's got all that sugar in it. It's got all the acid from the fruits. So yeah, it'll stay in your refrigerator for quite some time.
Well, you are inspiring me. Have you always loved to cook?
I like piddling, oof. I like playing around in the kitchen. I'm not very good at the maintenance, everyday cooking dinner, especially with COVID and, you know, having to have all the planning a menu. I'm much more, gosh, I think I'll make cranberry chutney, or, you know, let's do a pork tenderloin or something. But I do like playing in the kitchen, yes, I do.
Well, I'm with you. The day-to-day grind is a little much, but I love creating something beautiful, and this is just that.
Perfect. I'm so glad I could come on and do it for you all.
Well, thank you so much, Patty. We appreciate the time, the effort. You went to a considerable amount of work to make this happen for us here today. If you want to watch this segment, you can find it on YouTube shortly. So be sure to watch how you can make cranberry chutney with the wonderful Patty, our East Coast Tech Director, and our wonderful chef. Thank you again for being here, Patty.
Absolutely.